For those listening for the first time, I have my first sponsor, and I could not think of a better one than mempool.space, a fantastic Bitcoin block explorer. We are still using Wiz's mempool here, but like most things in my life, I'm moving towards free and open source software, and you get that with this Bitcoin block explorer. So you do not need to trust Wiz's mempool, i.e. mempool.space. You can easily host it yourself. More to come on this front at the park in 2023. But mempool is becoming much more than your traditional block explorer. It is becoming a multi-layer explorer from layer 0 mempool, layer 1 the Bitcoin blockchain, layer 2 plus like Lightning, Liquid, and more. And that more part is for those interested in Bitcoin mining. They have a robust mining dashboard, which I check every day. So give it a shot yourself at mempool.space. My second show supporter, and it is Blockstream Jade. Blockstream Jade is an open source hardware wallet for the cold storage of Bitcoin and Bitcoin layer 2 assets on Liquid, such as stablecoins and security tokens. I personally only use my Blockstream Jade for storing Bitcoin, but that is me. Blockstream Jade houses a camera and full color display, allowing for fully air-gapped Bitcoin transactions. You can scan and display QR codes directly on the device to sign transactions and verify addresses with ease and peace of mind. You can manage your assets from mobile or desktop with Jade-compatible wallets such as Blockstream Green, Blue Wallet, Electrum, and my personal choice and favorite, Sparrow. Go to blockstream.com/Jade, Jade, to learn more and also buy one if you're so inclined.
One thing I really want to do is basically have this kind of session where we are all working together on some kind of projects, and maybe there's somebody who knows that kind of topic a little better, and this guy will, like kind of a classroom kind of environment, he will sit and do the thing while explaining to everybody else how to do it. So, for example, I kind of know some hardware stuff, so if nobody else knows hardware in there, maybe we'll do some kind of hardware project and I'll be there like teaching, kind of explaining to them how to do it. But then I also want the reverse. I want them to come and teach me.
Welcome to the Builders in Bitcoin podcast, a podcast about the people who bring Bitcoin to life. I'm your host, Rod, and I go by the handle BitKite on Twitter. I'm also on Nostr. You can find my NPub pinned to my Twitter profile. This week, I was joined by Alekos Filini and Daniela Brozzoni, two Spiral grantees who are building on the Bitcoin Dev Kit, a project that actually Alekos started, and who have co-founded hack.bs.it, a physical cypherpunk and Bitcoin hackerspace opening in Brescia, Italy. In this episode, we discuss and dig into Alekos and Daniela's work on BDK, why they're opening a hackerspace in northern Italy, the legalities around creating a nonprofit like hack.bs.it, and a whole lot more. I really enjoyed my conversation with Alekos and Daniela, and I hope you will too. So let's just jump right in. Daniela, Alekos, welcome to the Builders in Bitcoin podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having
us.
Such a freaking pleasure to spend time with you. Almost a week here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And you brought the most amazing weather for February. So thank you again.
We got so lucky. Yeah.
So dang lucky. And today, sadly, you guys are leaving.
Yep.
To go back home.
We're pretty sad. Yeah.
Man. Well, I hope, how was the week, by the way?
It was super cool. I mean, the park is such a beautiful place. Like, it's so cool to be here. And also, we really like Nashville because it's this kind of small city, but still it has the American style, let's say.
Yeah.
So, really, really cool.
What was like the American style that you liked the most, out of curiosity?
I really like the streets and the signs. Like, you look at a sign and it's like green, and that just screams America so much to me.
the like the billboards, the big billboards.
Yes, telling you where to go, like the name of the streets.
We have green street sign in Italy as well. Just
it's not the same.
But it's not the same green. I guess, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we're going to talk about a lot of things. One thing is, knock on wood, I hope to come visit both of you too in Italy. Which town are you guys in again?
Brescia.
Brescia.
Yes.
How do you spell that?
Brescia.
IA. Yep.
Yeah, it's like basically in between Milan and Verona, which are a bit more popular. Let's say Milan and Venice. So it's kind of north-east Italy. So yeah, we have a bunch of. I mean, it's kind of a small town. It's famous for being very polluted, actually.
Really?
So yeah, it's like one of the top most polluted countries in Europe, I think. So we
Yeah.
are
One of the most
polluted.
polluted
Sorry,
cities.
Yeah, sorry, cities
Yeah,
in,
I think
in
it's
Europe.
like second place after London, something like that.
Yeah. So
All right. Of course, we're going to go on this tangent. Why is it the second or one of the most polluted cities in
it's
Europe?
a very industrial city. So there's a lot of like industrial activity, basically. We also have the pleasure of hosting. I think it's called an incinerator, like where they burn trash. I think we burn a good part of the trash of all North Italy, which is kind of a pretty populous area. There used to be chemical companies that are now gone broke, I guess,
Yeah.
but they polluted the water, I guess. So it's kind of a mess. But yeah, it's really nice place to live.
Come and visit us.
Come and visit us.
It's,
Yeah.
when we're doing the incineration, the
Yeah,
peak time
that's
summer when
so
it's
cool.
super hot, just come.
Yeah, I can see the smoke and
So does Bitcoin fix this?
maybe.
Maybe.
It's kind of a stretch, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I joke. But so you're both born and raised in Brescia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's so cool. And then you went to study as well in the local engineering school. Is that correct, or the technical school?
Yeah, but it was technical high school, so we both didn't go to college. This is also a technical college in our city, but we just I don't know, decided just to start working after high school. But yeah, we met there actually. We both went to the same technical computer science kind of school. Yeah.
And so, who is the better coder, or who's like
Oof.
was reviewing whose
that's-
code? And
I don't
I'd
know.
say we have different approaches.
Yeah.
Are
And
you-
also, I mean, Alekos is 2 years older than me. So I always say, okay, yes, 2 years of experience, more, but actually more than 2, because you started younger
Yeah.
at programming. But yeah, I'm more like theoretical, so I'm better at maths. And I'd say Alekos is better at coding. I'm ready to admit that.
Ooh.
I think I think I like any kind of aspect about computer science and informatics. So I like to study deep, kind of weird things that nobody cares about.
But also very
And-
practical.
Yeah,
I'd
very
say.
practical. Yeah. And when I try to talk about it with her, she doesn't.
No.
She's not interested in that. So I think I have more like deeper knowledge of computers in general, probably.
Yeah,
and she's more theoretical, more like
more like algorithms and I don't know, maths and stuff like that.
yeah.
And so, is this how? So, in the technical high school, this is where you found Bitcoin, or even before that?
So it was during the time I was in school. So I introduced her to Bitcoin. So I can
Cool.
talk first. I discovered Bitcoin during that time, but it was kind of independent of. It was not taught in school, obviously. It was not. So yeah, I don't know how I just kind of randomly stumbled upon it and just got interested, and then I talked about it with her, and she got into it as well. And yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're applying for grants and working
Yeah.
basically full time as an open source developer on the BDK project.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, there are a lot of steps in between,
Sure.
but eventually, yes.
So, for the folks listening, Matt recorded a great Citadel dispatch with the BDK team, which Alekos and Daniela, along with Steve Myers, were on. So, definitely listen to that episode, and we'll link to it in the show notes if you want to learn more about the BDK project. Selfishly, I want to talk to them about like a little bit more on their background, but they're also going to be starting a really cool project that I hope to help them, and the park hopes to help them make happen. Because you know what's kind of crazy? Even in this bear market, Bitcoiners in general are creating so much and so much weird stuff. Like, I consider Bitcoin Park a very weird experiment. Like, who in their right mind does this, especially in this, like, from
Yeah.
the 60K, 50K, 40K, 30K, 20K, wherever we are, and still continues to like ship. And then I think I was messaging with the folks in UK on Satoshi's place, and then there was a new pop-up Auckland, New Zealand, another Bitcoin community space. But now, in one of the most polluted areas in all of Europe, there's going to be another Bitcoin community space.
Yep.
and it's going to be awesome. And I cannot wait to visit it. So, for what's the name of the space?
So the name is hack.bs, hack like hacker, kind of.
So HACK
Yeah.
.bs.
.bs.
That's a freaking amazing domain name.
Yeah, that we don't own yet. So
So not
see.
hack.bs.
No, the full domain, if you actually want to visit our website, is hack.bs.it.
Hack.bs.it.
Because that was cheaper. And we have a pretty small budget. I mean, compared to this place, we're not.
Do not. So this is the one thing, like, and I want to make this is like what we call a PSA, public service announcement. Create something better and create also something that's unique culturally to your area, plus that you care to go and visit every single day. If you try to replicate this, like, and I hope maybe you do, and then make it better and rock on, and me and Matt and everyone else will be there cheerleading and helping support you. But I do think like making it something that you want to wake up to and go and participate in every single day yourself will increase the probability of survival, if you will. So if you go to hack.bs.it, it's a cypherpunk hackerspace located in beautiful Brescia, Italy. Actually, I had a colleague, her last name was Brescia, which now...
I think, so there are a bunch of Bresciani, which is like in Italian would be from Brescia. From
cool.
Brescia. So I know a bunch of people, obviously, there, that their last name is Bresciani. And maybe there are then variations, and then like over time, maybe that kind of changes. So I don't know, maybe you've met like a descendant of that
town. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every INI, so if it's Cipriani, like in New York, that's like from that town, maybe?
I guess. I mean, normally that's kind of the suffix you use.
Mm-hmm.
So about Cipriani specifically, I don't know. But yeah, normally like you say, or American, you say Americano. So it's like, from America. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it depends. By the way, my surname is Brozzoni. No one knows how to pronounce it. But there's this town, which is kind of near Brescia, but I've never been there, which is called Brozzo. So like my surname is from Brozzo.
Interesting. And you've never been to that town?
No.
And you have no family from that town? No, it just happens to be. Okay.
Yeah. It could be like centuries ago, maybe.
Yeah, but you're Filini and you're not from Fili, I guess.
No, in my case, that's kind of it's totally random, but I think it used to be Felini with the E, which means like feline, like the animals, like
cats.
Yeah. But apparently at some point when they were transcribing it, so I think it was my grandfather or my great-grandfather, when he was born, they were transcribing the documents, they mistakenly used an I instead of the E. So yeah, it became Felini with the I, but
that's pretty cool.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't supposed to be like that.
That's amazing. Not to dox myself, but when my family came over to the States over in the Revolution, my first name is Rod, R-O-D. I have probably, I guess, 25, maybe every single letter in the alphabet in my last name, but they've fortunately condensed it down to basically like Smith, in the States, which from a protocol, design, and American culture was like, thank you, God, because then it would have been a lot of childish being made fun of, that's for sure. So contributing to the BDK, by the way, how did you guys find the BDK project out of all the projects to work on?
I started it, actually.
So, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
You started the BDK project?
Yeah. It didn't, so originally it wasn't called BDK. So it's kind of a long story. I started this thing which was called Magical Bitcoin Library. It was Magical Bitcoin Library and the Magical Bitcoin Wallet, which was a wallet using the Magical Bitcoin Library, obviously. And Steve Myers separately, he started BDK. And then at some point we just started talking to each other. We realized we were kind of doing the same thing, but my project was more
far ahead.
Further ahead. I also had started earlier than him. So we decided to merge, and I like the Magical Bitcoin name, but it was also kind of generic. Like everybody uses the logo was the wizard that everybody uses everywhere. So it was not recognizable. It was not a good branding. So when we did this kind of merging, we took my code of Magical Bitcoin Library and his name of BDK. So yeah, from a perspective of the code, I started it. From the perspective of the name, Steve started it, and then at some point we merged the two things together.
Dang. And was this the first time you guys met, was here in Nashville, or you guys have met before?
No, we had the chance to meet before, but it was also like I think we worked together for a couple of years before we finally ended up meeting each other. And I think he came to Italy for something, and so we met in Italy. Then we seen each other in Miami as well last year. So we had a few chances, but it's kind of rare. Like we see each other 1 week per year or a couple of weeks per year, and then we just work
That's
remotely.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of the most amazing, humble human beings I've encountered in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He
His
is.
smile is so infectious, and just being around him makes my overall composition it enhances it and makes me feel good when I'm around Steve Myers. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of patience that I don't have. Like
Yeah,
he's very
he's
good
super
with
kind.
newbies. Like when they want to get into Bitcoin, he's very kind, explains everything, very very nicely. And I'm not like him at all.
You're
Probably
more the toxic guy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey.
More harsh. Yeah.
So which is maybe a good segue, because you guys are going to start. You guys have started the hack.bs. So it's a place we can go to currently today.
I mean,
You
in like
can
a
explain.
couple of weeks,
Okay.
at least. Because we are going to have the place starting from March, and then we have to put furniture in it. Because now it's just empty. I think it's going to be open like either mid-March or end of March, depending like how quick we are with
Amazing.
buying the desks and the chairs. But yeah, soon.
So we got so lucky with the park when people come here and they're like, oh my God, all the furnishings, all the chairs, everything is so amazing. Rod, you have amazing taste. Like, how did you think of this, all this stuff? I'm like, we inherited every single piece of furniture except the pieces of shit folding chairs in the event space. So like all the crap stuff, it was me. All the really nice stuff was the people beforehand. So I guess my only pro tip there is like, be as creative as possible, even maybe as like because like one of the things, like you guys are concentrating more on the hacker side and the programming side, which is fantastic because that's more of a culture fit for you guys. When I was talking with a lot of developers and saying, hey, what do you think about coming and working from Bitcoin Park? They always ask me like, well, do I have a place for like my computer to hook into with monitors and this, that, and the other thing? I'm like, no, sorry. So we didn't really we're not the best fit for that right now.
Yeah.
But for you guys, that may be the case. So I'm just like thinking outside the box, maybe even like having them bring in or donate furniture to like make it a community feel rather than coming with the same sanitized, if you will, like furniture that's cookie cutter. Does that make sense?
That's actually what we're doing. So I mean, not necessarily donate, but we're trying to buy used furniture, like super cheap chairs or desks, whatever we find. So yeah, it's gonna be like some chairs of one type and some chairs of another. It's gonna be like a mix of stuff that we can find. Just because we're starting with a pretty small budget, so we don't want to spend it all on furniture, I guess.
Totally.
So no, I agree, and I think I also like. I mean, we're gonna have to be good at putting everything together, but I also kind of like the feel of. I think it's more hacker. Like, ideally, I actually wanted to rent like a warehouse kind of place, like a kind of an industrial place. Initially, that was my idea because it really had to feel like, just a bunch of random hackers coming together and doing stuff. Then we settled for a more.
I just.
She was not
exactly. I was not on board with the warehouse. I was just like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah. So in the end, we got a place in the kind of old town part of the city, so it's super close to the subway train station. Like it's very well connected because we ideally one thing we would like to have is people coming from everywhere, ideally, but also from other parts of Italy, and it's very well connected with trains. So we settled for that spot.
And then people, like you're thinking like whether you're a technical student, let's say Milan, or you're working in Venice or wherever you may be, and then those folks that are saying, hey, I want to go hack away on a project, or just like from a culture standpoint, be around these Alekos and Daniela, I'm going to take the train and come to hack.bs.
Yeah, and it's like from Milan, if you take the high-speed train, it's 35 minutes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, like you take the train in Milan, 35 minutes, then it's 9 minutes walk, and then you're at our place.
Are co-working spaces like culturally very prevalent in Italy?
So in Milan, maybe yes, because it's more of a international, I guess, kind of city. in Brescia there used to be one which is closing down. So as a
Ooh.
kind of business, doesn't really work out. Which is also why we are actually a non-profit. So we are legally registered as an association, non-profit. Because I think if you make it a business, you have a bunch of taxes and stuff on top. We wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
So we made it as a non-profit, and because I think in that way we can kind of survive. We get some membership fees, obviously, from the people coming, and we have almost zero taxes, and so we should be able to survive financially with that kind of format.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Well, how many people are you thinking of having at like maximum capacity in the space?
So right now we have like a little community, which is like 25 people,
Oh,
something
that's-
like that. But the place is quite small, so we're thinking like about 15
Yeah.
like just places to sit and work, or maybe a bit more if you like, I don't know, if you want to work from the sofa, something like that. Yeah, and then I mean, I suppose it just depends, because some people might just want to go to the co-working space and just sit and work. Some other people might just want to hang out like in the evening and just hack,
Yeah.
and just code and build stuff. And for that, you don't really need to have like a certain space for everyone. It's just like, I don't know, you just go around and you hack something and you sit on the sofa. So yeah, I think maybe around 20
Yeah.
people we can accommodate. But
I mean, I hope more. So the idea is that we can have like the same space can act as a co-working, so it's more quiet, more relaxed during the day, and then in the evening it becomes more of a social thing
Yeah.
where people meet up. And yeah, in terms of like fixed seats, like you have your own desk, you have your monitor and everything, probably 12, 15 at most. But then if you, I don't know, take the tables out of the way, you can have, I guess, 50 people in there. I don't know, it's gonna be
Heck
yeah.
crowded, but you can fit.
So I'm trying to envision the place. Is it like on a first floor, walking from the street, I can walk right in, or do you have to go up a staircase or elevator to the place?
Ground floor. It's
Ground
like
floor.
a commercial
Perfect.
space, basically. So we have, I don't know what that's called in
Window?
English, like not window, like glass. Like
Yeah.
you can see from the street, you can see inside. I don't know what that's called in English. So
What's
yeah,
it called in Italian?
vetrina. Because
Vitrina.
vetro is glass,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's a glass thing.
Very cool.
So yeah, so it's basically ground floor. So it's like normally would be like I think previously it was a bar or something. So it's people can walk in. It actually, we are not gonna let people walk in like that. So we're gonna have badges and everything. So you're gonna have to have a badge to get in. At least once we're not there. When we're there, we'll open it up. But yeah, so you can see like the place. You can enter. There's a big room like right in the front, which is where we're gonna have the desks. We're gonna
Very
have
cool.
maybe a couch and kind of a relaxed area. In the back, we're probably gonna have some kind of a bar, I guess. But that's we have to figure out the legal.
We were talking about
yeah.
this because, like, I'm not going to talk about our place because I'm just not going to talk about that. But there seems like there's more taxes, codes, regulations, and permitting in Italy. Like, I was surprised when me, you, Steve, and Daniela were talking about like, oh, well, we would love to do that, but we need to go get this approval, that thing, and then we need to be within this zone. So no bar, but I did like the idea, and I think this is so clever. It's like the working during the day, but really making the place come to life at night. And that's like the hacker style, whether it's, I think you guys were both mentioning maybe like a movie night and hey, let's work on this project at night, and kind of making it very welcoming, if you will.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. We just want to have a place where technical people can come and hang out and work on stuff. And we're being pretty open, so we're not like, you must be a Bitcoiner to come, because in a small town like that, there are probably like 5 Bitcoiners. so we can sustain like that place with only Bitcoiners. But we're basically saying, as long as you're not a shitcoiner, so we were pretty strict on that, but as long as you're not a shitcoiner, you can come, you can work with us on whatever. Like, it can be Bitcoin, can also be not Bitcoin. In general, the philosophy of the place is going to be cypherpunk. So we're going to encourage a lot. We're going to push people to, I don't know, you want to work on something, make it private, make it secure, make it like, don't be the startup to collect personal data,
Yeah, make it open source.
Make it open source, yeah. And we hope to, with that, we hope to bring more people in Bitcoin, actually, because we have a lot of friends that are going to come that they are just like mobile developers, and we hope to bring them into Bitcoin with that.
I think that's so massive. And then going back culturally to be like, Bitcoin's just a tool, and then, but cypherpunk is just a mantra, a mentality, a way of life, and a way. And you mentioned privacy, you mentioned open source, like here's one line that I've used at our meetups, and I think it's very helpful. We have these general guidelines to enhance everyone's experience here. What does that mean? So we are Bitcoin focused, capital B, Bitcoin, the monetary network, and lowercase b, the asset. And then I go through the whole list, which you guys heard me many a times say, like no photo policy. We have no zero side conversations when presentations are going on, parking, and please pick up after yourself. Kind of repeating this over and over for folks because everyone's coming in and they want to adapt to the common culture and protocol, if you will, of what you two are setting. So the more you can restate that, the better. And I love and that's the same thing we do. We have a whole no shitcoin policy, but we don't want to just, I love Bitcoiners, love hanging out with them, but I like hanging out with other people too that have different interests and ideas and so on. I want to bring more of those people here from different industries. So I think that's spot on.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Hope it will work out. It will work out. We're still figuring it out, I guess, but
Yeah.
But as a nonprofit, so are you gonna what's the sustainability model? Is it a per desk type of deal? Is it like a straight, hey, can you just throw in some donations? What's the model?
So I'll talk about so it's mostly gonna be donations and membership kind of fees. We're still figuring it out. I think we're gonna make people pay for the co-working, so like you pay for a desk, but less than you would pay in a commercial space. So we're still like more affordable because again the quality of the space is gonna be like a fancy, super well furnished office. So you're gonna pay not so much, but you pay something if you wanna come work during the day, essentially. And then the hackerspace in the night should be free. So we're probably gonna make it free. You need to become a member, but that's more of a legal thing because we're an association, so we can't. That's essentially the home of the association, so only members of the association can be inside. That's at the legal level, that's how it works. So you're gonna have to become a member, which means you pay like $10 yearly fee. So it's not really.
Why keep it that low? Because the reason why I say is, okay, let's say your total operating budget to run it is $100. My own gut reaction would be, I love the membership model. We do that here. Pro tip, pro hack, annual upfront. No matter what the price is, don't get bogged down on the monthly, then being like following up with Daniela, can you throw in that $10 again you owe us? Just get the entire annual upfront because then they really are committed to making it happen rather than saying, am I using this? Am I not using it?
I agree with you, but it's more of a legal thing again, because essentially if you're not allowed to be in there, if you're not a member, you're basically forcing, let's say it costs $100 per year, which would be still kind of low, but kind of a fair amount. If you want to come there with your friend, maybe somebody's a member and wants to bring his friend cannot be in there unless he's a member. So his friend to come check out the place one time, he would have to pay the membership fee.
So is there like a guard or I'm not joking. I'm like, is there like some agent that comes and checks on this like regularly or anything like that?
They do that. So basically they want to make sure you're not a business. And normally a business, what it does is welcomes everybody. So they are very strict about this thing where,
got it.
I mean, obviously if he walks in and we give him the tour, that's fine. But basically we don't want to have like this very high barrier where you have to commit to it. We want people to come in and stay there one night, no commitment, and then you think about it and you say, oh, maybe I want to go there again and come another night. So this is why we have a very low barrier of entry, because legally, if they want to be there, they have to be members.
So could there be two different membership tiers? Like there's the $10 like, F the police membership. And then there's the, like really support, hack.bs to make this attainable. Because people, when they ask me about like, hey, how do I start this or so on, it's a fairly simple math equation. It's like, all right, what's your total OpEx, all in? All right. then divide it by how many people you think could be members. So if it's like $1,000 divided by 100 members, that's $10, right? That's what you need to collect. Do an extra 20% on top of that because you never hit the marks. Just have extra buffer room. So that's, whatever, $12 or whatever it is per member. And then go and identify and make sure that that's done. Not to change gears slightly, but I will say this, like with the 20 or 50 people that are those member association, really zero in on them because they're the ones that are going to make your culture really help. And you already have, you said like 25 folks?
Yeah, 25 something folks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up there, so we know a lot of people there. We went to a technical school, so we know the technical people in town. Basically, all the technical people went to that school. So it was kind of easy for us. We just talked to old friends, classmates, from the previous years. And we just said, we're opening this place. Are you in? Do you want to, participate to it? And a lot of them said yes.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And that enthusiasm is the way that this survives. What was the most exciting thing or most common thing amongst them to say, was there anything besides like just the working space or the hacking space at night that they were falling in love with the idea?
We actually mostly talked about the night space. So I've kind of see the place as it's mainly that. So that's kind of the identity of the place. The daily co-working is more of a way to make the money situation work. So we can make the co-worker, the people who use the co-working pay to finance the night thing. So we mainly, with the people who we talk with, we mainly explain about the night thing. You come there at night, and it's in the old town. So there are a lot of bars and everything all around there. So it's kind of like maybe you don't come there just for that. You come to go drink at a bar with your friend, and then middle of the night, you're like, oh, let's see if somebody's in there. Then you can come, and maybe we are still there working on something, I guess. They were super excited because I don't think they've ever seen such a place. Like we've seen a few of those now. We've been to Prague, Parallelnipolis. That's kind of the big inspiration. Yeah, Parallelnipolis was the big inspiration for this. In Prague, we've also been in Thailand to Bob Space in Bangkok, and I don't know, probably a few others I don't remember.
Bitcoin Park
now, yeah.
There you go.
So we're kind of used to these kind of places, but I think for people who are kind of stuck there in Italy, they've never seen them. So it's kind of a new thing for them, and they were super excited to be in this kind of. It's kind of a new model for them, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not used to it.
No, totally. And I love the idea that this is not going to be totally Bitcoin focused. It's going to be cypherpunk focused. And then you kind of incept or kind of teach those that want to learn more about Bitcoin or maybe hack on BDK, LDK, or any of these other open source projects. Is that a fair thing directionally?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm so hyped as well because, I love Bitcoiners, but every now and then there are certain periods where there's just one topic and everyone just talks about that.
Yeah,
now
totally.
it's inscriptions, then it was Luke-JR and that got hacked, etc., etc. And it gets boring after a while.
Yeah.
So I'm just so happy that we're going to be the place where also non-Bitcoiners can come, so we can talk for like 10% of the time about inscriptions, and then 90% of the time, I don't know, there's going to be other topics.
No, totally. And so we had FOSS week here, and now I hope it becomes FOSS month. So every February, FOSS February, for you guys to come back always. I don't know if the weather is going to be like this. The bar is insanely high now because typically, like Tom will confirm with me, it is cold.
The first
rainy.
day, I think, when we got here, it was very cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it got better. So we've kind of experienced it just for a little bit.
But now, literally, I'm in a t-shirt right now, and it's
Crazy.
insane. But yes, come and visit us if you're listening. I think there's so many things that are complementary to the Bitcoin project in general that I would love for people to come here and work on that are in relation to Bitcoin. So like whether you're working on XYZ open source project, or there's just been a number of things that are popping up that are becoming interesting, or as interesting, not as interesting as Bitcoin. Let me take that back, but very interesting in the sense that doesn't need to be about like the more of the Twitter du jour topic. So like kind of putting Twitter away. Oh, Nostr is the one. I'm all in on Nostr right now, quite a bit. But that's the kind of stuff I think with your hackerspace to be like, instead of even talking about Bitcoin, hey, do you want to talk about a permissionless, censorship-resistant social network? Wait, what do you? There's no way that's even
Yep.
possible. Look at this Nostr program or protocol and take a look, and
Yeah.
then maybe hack away on that kind of project.
Yeah, that's totally the idea. We want to introduce people to that. We're also going to try to host like conferences, kind of events open to everyone. Like, you're working around, come here. We will talk about open source and Bitcoin to you. And
Yeah, but also the opposite. Like, I'm looking forward to people teaching stuff to me.
oh yeah,
Just
obviously.
telling me, hey,
Yeah.
I'm working on this and that.
Totally.
And me being like, whoa, just show it to me, please.
That is the hack. I mean, and now
Yeah.
full disclosure, this is one of the most selfish projects I've ever done in my life. Why? I'm now sitting across both of you two. I get to talk with you for an hour about all the questions I care about. I get to
Yep.
hang out with you guys here in Nashville. I can go, home quickly if I needed to. But you guys, to go home quickly, you got to go get on 2 planes and travel around the world. So again, thank you so much for that. But the point is, like, you guys having that base and bringing in all these amazing, talented people, and then all of a sudden they unlock something in your head. You're like, I never even thought about this. And they're potentially one of the best in the world at that specific area or passionate about that specific area. Going back to the hosting, like conferences, meetups, and so on, one thing I think that's worked pretty well here is the workshop idea, enabling your community members to like answer the question, wouldn't it be cool if ... we did this, Daniela and Alekos? Okay, yeah. I mean, that workshop seems really cool on Nostr, for example. Here's the space, here's the resources, here's the time. Fuck meetup.com. But like if you create a meetup.com page and just get people out there, and then some magic can happen.
Yeah, one thing I really want to do is basically have this kind of session where we're all working together on some kind of projects, and maybe there's somebody who knows that kind of topic a little better, and this guy will, like, kind of a classroom kind of environment, he will sit and do the thing while explaining to everybody else how to do it. So, for example, I kind of know some hardware stuff, so if nobody else knows hardware in there, maybe we'll do some kind of hardware project, and I'll be there like teaching, kind of explaining to them how to do it. But then I also want the reverse. I want them to come and teach me.
Totally.
I think most of them are like average developers, like mobile development, web development, the kind of normal stuff. But still, there's a whole huge kind of world around those stuff. Even if it sounds simple, web development is simple, but there are different frameworks, different. So it's always cool, even if it's maybe that doesn't sound as cool as Bitcoin, but it's also they can also teach us a lot.
So you just said hardware, yeah? So are you guys going to have like a 3D printed machine at the space?
Oh yeah, that's.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, no, I've been a software guy for a long time now, but I also like to play with physical stuff. So when I have like 3D printers, I already have a 3D printer at home. I think I'm just gonna bring mine there for everybody. We're gonna have a CNC kind of machine to.
What's a CNC machine?
It's like
Daniela just put up her hands like, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Actually, I don't know how to describe it. Like the I think as a like the name implies it's some kind of machine. I think it's numeric control machine. So like a machine that you can program and does things for you. So normally you would use it to make like mechanical parts. You have you start with a block of aluminum, and then you have like a tip that removes shapes of material. But you can also do it. You can also use it to prototype PCBs. So that's the main thing I want to have. So we're not gonna have like a big ass enterprise CNC machine. We're gonna have like a small one that we can use to make PCBs. So if we want to prototype other stuff, we can do it.
Wow.
And I don't know, whatever we can fit in there. We have a basement, so we're probably gonna use the basement as the kind of garage where we have tools and stuff. So yeah, I want to get I want to do a lot of physical hardware stuff as well, not only software.
100% I'm coming. I need to figure out the kids' situation on traveling and so on. But when's the best time of year to visit?
That's tough.
I mean, I think
weather-wise,
the climate is pretty similar to here. Like it's cold in the winter, hot in the summer. Like hot in the sense that it's not
like humid hot or just hot.
Yeah, maybe
humid.
it's, it's not so like you don't want to work around in summer. It's doable. You're not gonna die, but it's not.
Well, maybe
It's
with the
not like
pollution. And
this-
so, I
oh
don't
yeah,
know.
that's all. Yeah, that's all the story.
So you guys were cool with wearing masks this entire time because of the pollution? No, I'm just joking.
No.
Well, maybe actually we would have been better off wearing them. We're not, the most. We're not really following the rules, let's say.
Compliant.
Yeah.
But maybe actually it would have been better off for us to wear them. But yeah, no, probably I would say spring. Maybe that's when the climate is the best. But also, like if you come in the winter, we're close to the mountains. You can go ski in the mountains.
That's cool.
If you come in the summer, there's a lake, Garda Lake, the largest lake in Italy, very close. You can go to the lake and have a swim in the lake. So I don't know. I think at least there are activities. Whenever you come, you can find something to do kind of around the area. If you just say in the city, probably spring, that's the best time.
Very cool. Very cool. So the space is open. So if someone's like from the, like we have a geyser.fun page actually. Let me go to bitcoinpark.co real quick. By the way, we may be getting the .com domain here shortly. It's pretty cool. Breaking news for everyone listening. Do you think about taking in donations from people from afar with Bitcoin as well?
Yeah, we're already doing that like on our website. There's like a BDC pay server.
Nice.
So yeah, we already do that. And I mean,
Donate,
Bitcoiners have been like so kind and so
Yeah.
generous. We already have, I think, like almost 4K
Yeah,
euros in donation. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's like way more than what we're, yeah, that's
Exactly.
amazing.
And also a lot of people donated when the price was way lower. So now we are rich.
Yeah, there you go. Balling. So the helipad is now with the
Yep.
for the rooftop. Okay, good.
Kind
Oh,
of
this is good. You guys got different tiers on here. Okay,
Yep.
now I
Mhm.
see that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, just kind of another interesting, nice legal Italian thing. We cannot, as the association, accept anonymous donations because they say it's basically, oh, you could be doing money laundering, and then so we can do it. So what we're doing now as a kind of a workaround on the website, I'm saying that I am personally collecting the donations and then I'm forwarding them to the association. But we're trying to get set up with like OpenSats or something.
Yeah.
Because essentially the problem is all the money that gets to the association, they need to be somewhat KYC. Like you need to know who's, even just a name, but you need to know where they're coming from. So if we get set up with OpenSats, people can donate anonymously to OpenSats, and then OpenSats like KYCs with us, kind of. So like we can say, oh, this money came from OpenSats. And what we're doing now is I'm taking the money and I'm then forwarding them so that the association can say, oh, this money coming from Alekos. But yeah, that's another stupid, like we're an association. Why can't we get anonymous donations? That's, I don't know,
Yeah.
stupid laws.
Yeah, at this point it's almost like fun. Like we're just trying to avoiding all the bureaucracy, all the laws. We're just trying to
it's kind of a meme.
yeah, I don't know, just
kinda
make it easier.
freaking
But
crazy. You
yeah.
think like again, culture, different areas of life have different rules and so on. So I get it, but it's just baffles me. Being a very very small business owner, the amount of bureaucracy, rules, regulation just to get into the starting line. Now there's like the barrier to entry is even high. And if you have even a product that's like at like a 1 to 2% margin, it's like the failure rate is,
Yeah.
or if you're a nonprofit, I mean, you guys, knock on wood, are going to crush it and succeed. But the probability in general is so much lower because of this high bar
Yeah.
to enter, which just sucks. With that said, and I'm not advocating this, but sometimes you just got to do it and then figure out like, oh, those were the rules. Okay, why are those the rules that way? Because here's
Yeah.
what I was doing with every quality, intention, and good ethics in place to make it happen, if you will.
Yeah.
That's at least what.
I think we can say it because Italian bureaucrats are stupid. They probably don't speak English. So we can say it, at least on an English podcast, that, yeah, that's kind of the attitude. Like, obviously, we're not going to do anything straight up illegal. If
Yeah.
it's kind of in the gray area, we'll try to see if we can do it and I don't know, hope for the best.
One leading indicator is like what % of the jobs are held by government employees or bureaucrats, and it's unfortunately that number seems like it's growing over and over. So it's like they have every incentive to instill more rules in
Yeah.
order to preserve their future livelihood, which in their defense I get, but they're not really helping any of us who are entrepreneurials and ones that are creating
Yeah.
new jobs, new opportunities for folks.
Yeah. Oh, in Italy nowadays we have the thing where, like, if you don't have a job, the government just pays you kind of a salary thing.
What do we call
Yeah.
that here, Tom?
Universal basic
universal
income.
basic
Yeah.
income.
Yeah, that's the thing in Italy. It's been there for a couple of years, and obviously young people, why would they get a job when they can get that? So it's companies are struggling to find. Like, basically, you are competing with the state that becomes the minimum salary,
Yeah.
kind of, because otherwise nobody will.
It's minimum salary. They got their Netflix. They got their feeder tube with Uber
they're
Eats.
happy
They
with
got
that.
their,
Yeah.
6-pack of, beers. They got a little bit of pollution, but they stay inside with their air.
But the government says it's fine, so
like
you don't have to worry about it. You can drink the water. You can.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry.
I will say this, and we're gonna have to wrap, unfortunately, because you guys got to get a flight. These spaces are so dang important. So, like, first and foremost, hosting a meetup, and then having a Bitcoin meetup, to bring people into your own space to, like, talk, whether it's 3D printing to actually using BTC Pay, like to actually use Bitcoin to make a donation or buy that quote unquote bottle of water, which I think we talked about this. I don't even think you can sell that bottle of water, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I think
we're going to end on a high.
Yeah, I'm not going to say if you will, but yeah, we will try.
Yeah, there you go. But places like yours, hack.bs.it, are places that bring not only this cypherpunk mentality to life, but really bring Bitcoin to life as well. In these, I hate using the word safe space, but a place where it's very welcoming for a amazing technical engineer that knows zero about Bitcoin but wants to learn. They can come to a place like yours or other places around the world. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for even taking this crazy. It's fucking crazy, by the way, what you guys are about to do. But you guys are going to accomplish it and so on. So is there any closing thoughts or where you want to leave people to find you? You can start first, Daniela.
I'm not sure.
Besides the beautiful domain, hack.bs.it.
Yeah, I mean, we have like a Twitter and Instagram and also Nostr, but we're not using
We actually have
it.
a cool Nostr
Oh,
public key.
right. We have like a vanity public key.
Yeah.
So it starts with hack.bs
Yeah, so
or
I
something.
wrote code to brute force public keys. And I mean, I just forked. I didn't write all of it by myself, but yeah.
Wait.
We have...
How did you do this?
The Nostr kind of address public key, it uses the same kind of format as Bitcoin addresses, as SegWit addresses, the BC1. So I took, there was this, I think it's called Vanity Search program. It's open source that brute forces BC1 addresses, change it a little bit, and now I can brute force npub Nostr keys. So we have like npub hack.bs for our space. Yeah.
Yeah, but then we never post, so no one can reach us there.
Yeah.
Can you force me one?
Yeah, and until like 5-6 characters, that's doable. More characters takes longer, but we can try. We can try even with. There are limitations in the characters because they didn't want to use, when they invented Back32, they didn't want to use like ambiguous character. So I don't remember. I think it's the one, the I, or the L. So those kind of characters which are kind of similar, they're not part of the vocabulary. So you're kind of forced to work around it, I guess. So like for my nickname, which has I's and L's in it, it was a nightmare. I couldn't. I think I just did Alekos with maybe a 1 in place of the L because I and L are. I don't remember. But yeah, so apart from those like limitations, we can try. Yeah.
I think Wiz did one. My friend who's founder of mempool.space, that's where he got his one Wiz. Okay.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
You dang hackers. Just make sure my Wi-Fi is okay, right? Here at the park, you're going to leave it intact?
We haven't done anything bad. So
Daniela's hands are up. Alekos, verbalize.
We respect the place. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
We're not going to take it down.
Thank you for having us here. It's been such an inspiration. Like when I first entered the park, I was like, oh my gosh, I want hack.bs to be exactly like this. And then I realized we don't have the money. So it's not going to be like this. But still.
Yeah, and I will say, even if you did have the money, I wouldn't recommend it because you need so like the amount of people and the amount of work just to do in order to bring people together every single month for like Bitcoin Week. You were here, obviously. BitDevs meetup, 3 or 4 or 5 workshops, public
Yeah.
workshops. We had a number of private workshops with offsite teams from BDK, LDK, Spiral. You kind of have to have like a full-time focus on making
Yeah.
that happen. Where I love where your focus is and where you're passionate about is hacking. And now you're loved the software world, and now you're it seems like very curious about the hardware world, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm gonna get CCN, 3D printers to like, one of these satellite spaceships that are getting shot down, and we're gonna go build one of those and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
So scratch your itch and really, really go for it. And I'm super excited. And so Alekos, where's the best place for folks to find you?
That's website, Twitter. The handle on, I don't know if you said it on Twitter. It's hack.bs without the dot and with the 4 in place of the A. So it's like H for CKBS.
It's difficult. I'm really sorry, but they were all occupied. So.
Yeah. And the same on Instagram, I think.
Yes, the same on Instagram.
So yeah.
We're going to do some sleuthing, and we're going to find those links, and we're going to post them in the show notes.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you guys again soon here in Nashville.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Alekos and Daniela as much as I did. Alekos and Daniela's aim to foster a community of hackers and developers who can help each other build a more self-sovereign, privacy-focused world is a mission that I truly believe in and a goal we strive to achieve here at Bitcoin Park. If you're enjoying the pod and want to automatically stay up to date, please like and subscribe in your favorite podcasting app. And make sure auto download is on. This would also mean the world to me. Lastly, come visit us in Nashville at Bitcoin Park. Go to bitcoinpark.com and see all the ways to connect with us and stay up to date. Until next time.